Of the many adjustments that Becky Hammond and company made from game one to game two in terms of alleviating themselves of the pressure put on by the Sun defense was an influx of use of their staggered off ball actions. It might also be called their motion strong, but essentially putting themselves in positions to compromise the defense and making them make off ball decisions in terms of where they are positioning wise off the ball on the help line and things of that nature. And there's so many different counters and actions you can run within that specific set, specifically speaking to the staggers. So I decided to take a couple of the reps that they had from game two and break them down. So this first one here is going to take place in the second quarter, and I'm gonna let it flow through first. All right, so right away you can see the advantage that's created. So they're setting up. This is after they've already ran this specific action a couple of times. So you can see Courtney Williams engaging with Kelsey Plum in the bottom right corner as KP gets ready to load up to come off of this. But instead of fighting pressure, you can see the distance that's created first between Asia, the initial screener for Kelsey, and Alyssa Thomas, who is guarding Asia Wilson right now. AT's low because Courtney Williams is playing KP high, so that she can't come off of the screen, or at least she can't come off it clean. So because of this, there's separation there, and the Aces are going to take advantage of this space and flip this aggressive defense off ball into an advantage for themselves. As you watch here, Kia Stokes, well, initially Kelsey Plum signals for Asia Wilson to step up and take this from the catch point that she was initially going to get into the next action. And as that happens, you see Kia Stokes smartly screen Asia Wilson's check, and that in turn makes the dominoes fall, and it puts Breezy Jones in a compromising situation because now she has to close out to the 3 point line from essentially what was initially the nail. She has to close out to the 3 point line, and that's not her cup of tea in terms of closing out in space like this against a versatile player, regardless of who that player is. So the advantage is created thanks to the screen and communication from Stokes and Kelsey Plum. And we see what Asia does. She exploits the top foot, gets to the basket. That's a bucket. All right, this next set here, it's a similar setup. This time it's Hamby as the top screener, and Kelsey Plum's coming off on the left side of the court this time. So we let it flow through. All right, so here it's congested at the catch point because Chelsea Grace doesn't necessarily space the way she needed to after making this pass initially. So there's a lot of congestion in the channel. You see Alyssa Thomas is guarding Chelsea Gray here. Breezy Jones is helping off of the second screener, of course, again, who was Hamby. And then you see Courtney Williams in the trail position getting back into the play. So there's a lot of congestion here. So Kelsey does a good job with her patience, bringing it back out. And again, now on the three-player side, as they typically do, De'Erica Hamby's going to cut through as they get into the next action and do it with flow and pace. And it's going to end up turning into an angle screen and an empty side. And now that the side is completely empty, that allows Kelsey and Asia Wilson to play in space. Great screen from Asia on the angle. Great job engaging two. You run pick and roll to create an advantage and drag two onto the ball. So Kelsey does a good job of dragging that advantage out as much as she can in the empty side again. You empty that side out so that she can do this with all of the space over here. And you see Asia is getting into a roll position where she's at a great catch point in the post. And it's also engaging Breezy Jones as the low help from the weak side. So she gets 2 feet in the paint for the catch here. And again, there's no basket, but it's generating the advantage and allows for Asia to get a clean look. And it ends up being a foul, again, from a spot on the floor where Asia can exploit against any matchup. Just generating so many advantages out of that specific set, starting with the staggers. All right, this one here is ATO. This one got a lot of attention from everybody, but the finer details in it are with Kelsey Plum. So as she comes off here, again, like in the first play that we showed in the first clip, Courtney Williams is engaging her with high positioning to kind of slow down or really stagnate her momentum into coming off of these staggers. But Kelsey does a good job fighting through that pressure, fighting through and curling this on the second screen and doing a good job of curling kind of screening, but also just generally engaging Jonquel Jones. And as she does that, it's a read for Asia. Asia could either pop to the top and then attack off of that. It's probably going to end up being a switch because Courtney Williams is the one on the other side of the screen. If Asia goes to catch and gets her a strong hand, but Asia does a good job reading it because Jonquel jumps a little higher, as you can see, as Kelsey loads up on the screen. Asia does a great job cutting, and even more so than that, the passer in these staggered situations has to be smart with the timing and the pace of the passes because there's a lot of reads going on. And if you're a half second late, the advantage is going to be exploited from the defense. So a great job on timing and on target, being on target with the delivery from Chelsea Gray as she's done all playoffs. Great job from Asia on the read, and then a great job with Asia's feel as well, knowing that the low help will be coming on the catch, and a great job just finishing and getting the two here. It's an excellent ATO play here. All right, and lastly, again, the Aces play with their personnel in this specific set a whole lot. So here, this is the end of the game. This is the fourth quarter. KP's handling the ball this time to initiate the set, and we have Dearica Hamby in the corner. Chelsea Gray is the initial screener, and Asia is now the second screener. In this specific set of plays that I'm showing here, this is the first time they have this specific alignment. So as it flows through, typically this would be, again, going for one of the guards to come off and catch the ball off of the staggers. But here it's Hamby. Hamby's obviously not going to catch it and work one-on-one or work to come off an angle screen or anything like that. So in this situation, they're using it to create distance from the screener with this ram screen. And that's going to induce drop coverage from whoever the second screener's defender is as they switch. And it's going to also force the switch. So as Kelsey comes off of this, that opens up the pocket pass here for Hamby, which she hits her with perfectly after dragging two, which is, of course, initially what you want to do in the pick and roll. You drag two, advantage created, and then how do you get to the next advantage? Hamby can either pull up here with a soft touch floater. She can kick it to the Jackie over there on what's now the strong side, or she can do what she does in connecting and making that next pass to Asia Wilson. Again, so many advantages created out of this specific set, out of the actions that come with it, and how it just tugs at the strings of the defense and puts them in compromising situations and situations where if the communication isn't on point from the defense, there's a lot of different things that the offense can exploit. Becky Hammond and company did a great job with their film sessions coming into game two and finding things that they could pull and tug at from the Sun defensively. And they did an excellent job operating in time on task as a team and just getting the job done consistently.